The snow was falling, a quiet, white silence over the park. But for Victoria Sterling, 35, the youngest CEO in her company's history, the silence was deafening. Perfect coat, flawless waves. Everything on the outside screamed success, but sitting alone on a cold park bench, checking the endless stream of emails, she felt a profound, heavy emptiness. Then, a tiny voice. "Excuse me, ma'am." Victoria looked up. A little girl, maybe 5, stood there, messy ponytail, an oversized brown coat, and a well-loved teddy bear clutched in her hand. Her expression was solemn. "Are you sad?" the girl asked. Victoria blinked. "What makes you think I'm sad?" "You look like my daddy does sometimes," the child replied, tilting her head. "Like you're carrying something heavy." "Are you lonely?" The question was a punch to the gut. Victoria, the woman who had everything, had been seen instantly by a stranger. "Sometimes," she admitted quietly. "My name is Sophie." The girl introduced herself. "I don't have a mama. She's in heaven." Sophie's next words nearly broke Victoria's composure. "Daddy tries, but he's always working. He doesn't know how to do braids. Can I spend a day with you? Who's one day you could be my mama for a day? We could do girl things." Victoria felt tears prick her eyes. The loneliness in the child's hopeful gaze mirrored her own. She glanced at Sophie's dad, James, on a nearby bench, running a stressed hand through his hair while arguing on his phone. "Let me talk to your daddy first," Victoria promised. Sophie's face lit up like a Christmas tree. She grabbed Victoria's hand and dragged her over. As they approached, they heard James's frantic words. "I understand the deadline, but I'm a single parent. I can't work 16-hour days anymore." James ended the call and looked up, his eyes kind but utterly exhausted. "Sophie, honey, I told you not to bother people." "She didn't bother me," Victoria interjected, extending her hand. "I'm Victoria Sterling. Your daughter just made a very sweet request." He shook her hand cautiously. "James Wilson." "What kind of request?" "She asked if she could spend a day with me," Victoria said softly, explaining Sophie essa decida for a mama for a day. James's face crumbled slightly. "Miss Sterling, I appreciate the kindness, but we couldn't possibly impose." Victoria paused. Then she surprised them both with her raw honesty. "You're not imposing. And honestly, I think I need this as much as she does." They sat down, and Victoria laid out her life. CEO 35th birthday, completely alone. Her career built on an empty foundation. "Sophie appeared and saw right through me," she confessed. James shared his tragedy. His wife died of cancer 2 years ago. He was a struggling software engineer trying to be both parents. "What if," Victoria suggested, the idea forming rapidly, "we made this a regular thing? Not one day, but maybe one day a week. You get time to breathe, and I get something I didn't know I was missing." That night, James called. After an hour of cautious questions and honest answers, they agreed to a trial run. 1 Saturday a month. The first Saturday, Victoria was nervous but ecstatic. She took Sophie for breakfast, to the Children's Museum, and later, for hot chocolate. "My mama used to take me for hot chocolate," Sophie confided. "I missed that." "I'm not trying to replace her," Victoria assured her, gently. "I know," Sophie said, looking up with serious eyes. "But Daddy says it's okay to love other people, too." "Do you care about me, Victoria?" "Yes," Victoria said, realizing with a jolt it was the most true statement she'd made in years. Do. 1 Saturday a month became 2, then every weekend. Victoria started delegating, leaving the office early. She taught Sophie to braid hair. They baked. They laughed. They went to the zoo. 6 months later, Sophie asked her to the kindergarten's mother's and daughter's tea party. "I know you're not my real mama," she whispered, "but you're the closest thing I have." That night, James invited Victoria to dinner. After Sophie went to bed, James took her hand. "When Sophie first asked you to spend a day with her," he asked, "why did you really say yes?" "Because I realized I had built an impressive career, but had no one to share it with," Victoria admitted. She looked right through all my armor. She saved me. James. She saved me from a life of accomplishment without meaning. James squeezed her hand. You've saved us, too. Sophie is happier than she's been since her mother died. And I'm falling in love with you, Victoria. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I love you, too. Both of you. This family you've let me be a part of. I love it more than anything you've ever achieved. A year later, they were married. 3 years after that, Victoria was back on the same park bench, pushing a stroller with her and James's baby boy. Sophie, now 8, sat beside her. Are you still lonely? Sophie asked. Victoria looked at her stepdaughter, her son, and thought of James waiting at home. No, sweetheart, she whispered. I'm not lonely anymore, thanks to you. The little girl with a teddy bear had appeared during the loneliest moment of Victoria's life and offered her the greatest gift. A family, a home, a life filled with love. One question had changed everything. Can I spend a day with you? One day became forever.